All right, everybody, and welcome into this week's edition of the South Florida Comedy Calendar. This show where every single week we go through everything happening in South Florida comedy. We're coming to you live as we do every single week here from the community newspapers in South Miami. I'm your host, Sebastian Alvarez. I'm a local comedian down here, and I am also one of the managers over at the Miami Improv. I am hosted and joined every single week, as I am, by my good friend, Art Roach. How you doing, Art?
I'm doing pretty good, Sebi. Last week was an exciting week here in South Florida. But this week we have a new leader in the White House. So I'm excited to see what kind of criminal offenses he's going to cook up.
Yeah, congrats, Art. I actually forgot to congratulate you at the top of the show. Art actually just got exonerated for his January 6th crimes. Congratulations, buddy.
I'm back on top, baby.
Good for you. Anyway, guys, this week we have a really special show, though, because I have a guest with us that not only is one of my favorite comics that used to be down here in South Florida, but he's definitely my favorite comic out in L.A. I want everybody here in the studio audience to give a round of applause for my man, Dean Gonzalez.
The king is home. The king is back. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, man. Dean, I'm really happy to have you on the show. We got you to fit in the comedy calendar in your tight schedule and your little mini trip you got going on down here in South Florida for the week. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to not just interviewing you and getting to know a little bit about how the LA scene's running and how it operates, but also getting into some of the shows that we got going on down here that you're a part of, even though you're not in Miami all the time.
That's right. I'm still outside, still part of everything that goes on here. I got my ear to the street here. I got a show here. I don't even live here anymore, and I still got a show here. So
hell yeah, exactly. Cool. That's industrious building from a comedian, guys. But starting off, I want to do a little recap of last week and what we had going on Sunday over at the Miami Improv. It was the return of the man, the myth, the legend, Rodney Badger, coming back from his time in Nassau. Did an amazing headlining set, and we had our boy Art Roach hosting as well. So, Art, a little bit about that show?
Yeah, big thanks. First things first, to Dom P. Giving me the first nice at bat here at Miami Improv. To start 2025. The show was amazing. I mean, we had Rodney Badger headline. He killed it. We had a bunch of really, really comedians. Mark Christopher, Luis Diaz, one of my favorites, and Tony MC, big shout out. He popped his cherry with a Have Not stage. So it was amazing. I can't wait to do the next one. More to come,
Ronnie's still alive?
Yeah.
Ronnie is kicking and doing better than ever, man.
Oh, cool. Good.
Yeah, he's got a good tan. He lost some weight.
Dude, yeah, he's actually lost a good amount of weight. He's looking good.
Wow, guys, read the room. Yeah. That guy has a lot of balls, though. No pun intended. He's, just to keep doing comedy. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, good for him, Ronnie.
Yeah, bro, killing it, and he's actually developing some amazing shows out in the Bahamas, guys. So whenever those come about, guess what? We're including the Bahamas in South Florida comedy because we're going to be promoting it here on the comedy calendar. Yeah. But definitely love Rodney and love the show. I was able to watch a lot of it, and you guys all killed it. The energy in the room was great. Dom brought out an amazing crowd for that Have Not show, as he's been doing for every single one recently. So big shout out to Dom and Have Nots, as we do every single week.
And I'll say one thing. Everyone has been asking for, hey, where are your clips online? I promised in 2025 we start having some actual stand-up clips. Well, this will be the first one. Dom is working on it right now. We'll have some clips. Dark Vision was there to film it. So
heck yeah.
Starting 2025, we're going to have clips every week coming out.
I love it, man. On Tuesday, though, over in Wynwood, guys, we have one of our favorite shows that we do every single week, and that is over at Smugglers, Cocina. Guys, if you haven't been out to Smugglers yet, it is one of the dopest spots in Wynwood. It's right across the street from Dirty Rabbit. It's right down the street from Coyo Taco. It's in the heart of this spot. Dean was actually one of the instrumental pieces in getting that show started, so he's on the show now for this week, so if you want to come and catch him, come out tonight to that show at Smugglers. But Dean, a little bit about the spot and kind of how we like him about?
It is the dopest spot in Wynwood for comedy right now. Just a collaboration between me and my boy Jake Infamous, who owns that place, as well as a couple other spots around Wynwood. And that's it. It just made sense to do a show there and just give everyone opportunities. I mean, that's my main thing. I keep my ear to the streets as far as all the comedians that you guys have coming up here, including you two, my boys. And that's it. Just get paid, do some time, work out, and hate me for it for some reason still. But it's all good. I got no blacklists. Or, everyone is welcome there, and try the food. It's amazing.
Yeah. That's what I was actually going to say. The food there is incredible because you get that nice variety of Cuban and Greek food, which you don't see in a lot of spots. But I've had the falafel there almost every time I've gone. Get that falafel sandwich, guys. It is insane. It's insanely good.
Oh, they're Greek? I didn't know.
They have both.
It's Cuban.
It's Cuban and Greek on the menu.
So that explains
It's Cuban and Greek on the menu.
So that explains that gay Roman helmet that they have there. Yeah, all right.
But that's the Cuban part, though.
Oh, wow.
And I wish just shout out to Dade County Comedy.
Yeah.
Raul Hernandez. Keeping that room. It's one of the few rooms that you can get paid at every single week as a comedian. We got Aaron Shapiro this week. Felipe Fuentes, I think, is doing his kind of big showcase premiere there. But of course, headlining will be Dean Gonzalez, killing it this week. If you want to pick a week to come out and see Smugglers, this is the week to come out. It's going to be a huge party. We'll both be there. It's going to be amazing.
Heck yeah, guys. Moving on, though, we're going to go to Thursday. We got our favorite show on a Thursday over in Coconut Grove, and that's going to be Taurus, guys. If you haven't been out to Taurus for any kind of show, or if you're in a comic and you haven't gone out and done the open mic there, you guys have to get your way to Taurus on Thursday night. It runs all night. It goes from like 8 till like 12:30. So if you're from up north and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can make it down in time, don't worry. Still make it out, because it is ran, obviously, by our good friend Art Roach right here. He is going to be doing the open mic there portion, and the main show is always ran and operated by our good friend Mike Daba. So if you need information on how to get on those shows, you can always reach out to either of those two guys. But it is one of my favorite places. It's one of the places that's made me a better comic, just for having gone up there so many times and worked out material there so many times, developing crowd work. It's just such a fun environment, and when you're there, you never know what you're going to get. Dean, you've been in the game for a long time, so you've probably been to Taurus more than me and Art probably combined over the years. But what's your like take on that?
It's a great place. It's not an easy room at all. It's a college hangout bar. Sometimes they don't even turn off the game while we're performing. That's how it is. But if you can get their attention by people watching the game and make them laugh, you do good. But it's a very brutal room. That's why it makes you better. And I literally saw them not pay attention and stay quiet to a blind comic. So that's the type of like hostility that they have in that room. But that's
shout
the
out
type
to
of stuff. Shout out to Chris Cilio. Yeah, I didn't want to just name drop him, but
I mean, there's only one. you name dropped indirectly. You know what I mean?
Well, I seen Art's taste in women, so he's also blind as well.
Wait, those were women?
That we know of. That we know of.
That's right.
Hell yeah! Shout out to Taurus, guys. Like I said, if you haven't been out there, it's a must do on a Thursday night.
Great hang,
guys.
And I will say, so as far as procedurally, since I've been getting there a little bit late, so we have the list back. So when you get there as a comedian, make sure you sign up on the list for the open mic. But if you're an out of towner, if it's your first time there, just send me a DM. I'll make sure you get a good spot. You know?
That.
But we do have the list back outside, so make sure you sign up.
Nice. So before we get into the two shows that we have at the Miami Improv this weekend, I want to quickly go to a show that we're producing with a little flyer that we have for Friday night at Jack's. It is going to be the fourth installation of the shows that me and Grace Kelly have been putting on recently. They've been a lot of fun. The competitions have been incredible. If you haven't seen the content we've put out for it, you got to check it out. Frank is going to be there making burgers. So get there early to get those burgers, because they'll sell out. He only brings a certain amount of meat to make those burgers, so you guys got to get there early. It is going to be another competition with a cash prize at the end, so the comedians will be bringing their A game to try and win that cash prize there at the end. We'll have a panel of judges as well. It's going to be a fantastic time, guys. I'm really looking forward to this one. They've only been getting better every single week, and the main goal of these guys, if you're a comic and you're interested in coming out, the main goal is they're putting together content hours for a channel that is going to be on YouTube that is going to have a 24-hour live stream of all this content. Eventually, they'll be able to, pull out and add new stuff as more shows happen in the future, as bigger shows get produced, as more content is collected. But the main goal is to get you guys on that live stream, get 24 hours of content, and we'll just keep streaming that for that content stream. So if you guys want to come out and be a part of that project and have a good time and, bring some people out if you got people. It's a fun night. It's an enjoyable time. It's the band that plays there as well is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
What is the name of the band again, Art?
It's called the Miami Blues Band.
There you go. The Miami Blues Band. These guys are Grammy winners. These guys are some of the most talented musicians I think I've ever seen up close and personal. and I highly recommend you guys coming out to that show on Friday. That's going to be Friday starting at 9 p.m. Doors open at 8. So pull up. There's going to be drink tickets sold. There's going to be, a lot of environment that is happening. The comedy scene is going to be coming out to support as well. So definitely be out there.
Big shout out, because, like you said, the show is live streamed. Every single show is live streamed. Amazing quality. They have a 3-4 camera setup. So big shout out to Ronnie. Big shout out to Matt. Big shout out to Wilson. Just making everything happen in the back. Keeping these shows flowing twice a week, which is amazing. And with that kind of video quality. So shout out to Dark Vision. He's been there a couple of times.
Absolutely.
Getting some of the promo stuff for us. Look, where else in Miami can you get paid on a weekly basis almost $500 to win a contest,
Yes, sir.
And shout out to last winner. I think it was PJ, second to last. And who was last week's?
Last night was Ben Smith. Who
Ben
came
Smith
out
won.
on top. Yes, sir. Ben was able to pay his utilities last night, so
I think
good for Ben.
He owes me some money, actually, so I got to give him a call.
Yeah, Ben does owe you money. You gotta get. You got. Now you can shake him down. It's like now it's the IRS coming to collect. It's like we've seen your profits.
Ben looks like a young version of the Home Alone villain.
Marv.
He looks like a young Marv. Like he looks like he could do a origin villain story.
The prequel.
The prequel. Him bombing on stage and just saying, you know what, I'm gonna start robbing houses.
Yeah.
I gotta find a short guy.
That's like his Joker arc. You know what I mean?
If you're here Friday, Dean, I don't know if you have any plans yet, but definitely I'd recommend coming through Jack's. I don't know if you guys can get him a good.
Yeah, it's a 20-person spot, but we can definitely work it out to get you on.
Yeah, we get some nice footage of it because it's really. I want you to see the setup. It's really nice.
It's dope. It's dope.
Cool. Do you guys have like a skip button, like the way they do in YouTube videos for when you have ads, or you just this is the whole thing? This is the podcast.
No, this is the podcast.
This is the okay, all right.
Yeah.
Just let me know when we get it started. I'll just wait. Go ahead.
Yeah. we gotta get through the particulars first. There's a structure, and then
we gotta get paid first. Then the fun part.
Exactly.
You guys are getting paid?
Well, I mean, with drink tickets,
All right. I was about to say.
No, but I will say this, guys. Moving on to this weekend, closing out the calendar portion of the show, we have over at the Miami Improv one of my favorite comedians that has come through recently, and that's Maz. What's the last name again?
Maz Jobrani.
No, not Jobrani. Jobrani. There you go. Maz is super funny. It's not his first time actually coming through and headlining the Improv before. Every time he comes through, it's a fun night. It's a fun show. Dean, I know, knows a few of the comics that are actually on the lineup there, and he's looking forward to coming through. You're going to be there. We're going to be there working it. So if you want to come out and support a really, really fun comic and support the Miami Improv this weekend, absolutely come out and enjoy. We have 4 shows happening, or 5 actually, because he's going to be doing 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, and 1 Sunday. So the whole weekend is going to be Maz.
Maz is super funny, and if you don't know who he is, or he looks familiar, he's from the Friday movie, the one with the Christmas thief. He owned the Holy Moly Donut Shop.
Oh, okay.
He was the one who hired the Ice Cube and gave him whistles and got beat up by the Christmas thief.
Got you.
And he's a very funny comedian. I love Maz. It's a very nice guy. You guys are going to love him. Just get tickets to that. I very highly recommend that show for sure.
Yeah, we rarely get comics that come through that have like the level of experience that Maz has. He's been doing this for a super long time. He's like a stalwart of the game. So it's someone that if you come through, you're gonna have a good time. Lineup that he has coming through as well are all really good curated comics that he's bringing through that are all really, really funny. So I highly recommend it this weekend at the Miami Improv. But going over to the Dania Beach Improv though, we have another really, really funny comedian that is someone that I've actually interviewed before. He's headlined the Improv recently in the Miami location, but now he's coming back to do Dania, and that's Eric Griffin. Big fan of Eric. He's one of the funniest comics that is headlining and touring right now. He's been in the game forever, and one of the guys that I think he's one of those guys that it's like you see him and you see his face and you're like, bro, where do I know him from? Because he's been in so much. He's done so many things. He's Workaholics. He was actually one of the main characters on Workaholics and was super funny in that.
Yeah, probably the sex offenders list. His face.
Yeah, with that picture specifically, not doing him justice, but
he's the man.
But he's super funny. He's the man. I love
about
Eric.
Kind of recognizing his work. One of the things last time that we kind of met him and got to talk to him is how many things he works on behind the scenes. He's an executive producer for many specials. I think he worked on Matt Rice's special. He's the main executive producer there.
Yeah.
So he's been really, using his funds, using his time, using his appearances on podcasts to really promote other comedians and the other work that he's done. So big shout out to him. I mean, from the last episode, last time he came, you guys interviewed him for A Day in the Life or A Day in Miami.
Yeah.
And a lot of cool stuff. A lot of the cool clips came out of that.
He's a great writer, super funny. I see him at the Comedy Store all the time working out. He drives a really nice car too, one of those electric Lucians, I think it's called. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you know he has money. That's a brand of electric cars we don't even have in South Florida. So.
Yeah, right?
That's right.
They don't even ship those here.
Yeah, no.
Like, you couldn't get that down here.
Tesla? What? No, that's for poor people.
No. Tesla, that's like a
Honda.
Yeah, that's a Honda. Hell yeah. That is going to be, though, the calendar portion of the show, guys. Moving on now to the interview portion. Obviously, one of the things that we've been talking about and we've been dropping hints on this whole time, talking with Dean, is that he is an LA-based comic. You started in Miami, Dean, and it's, you built your base and you kind of, outgrew your shell to a point and you moved out there to LA and you now have been there for almost 2 years.
Yeah, more like burned my bridges over here. So I had to go
there you go.
places, but hey, whatever works. Eh?
Hey, a lot of things are burning right now. Speaking of LA.
Yeah.
So, it happens.
I still prefer that fire than over here.
I'll take for sure. At least that one's you can put water on it and it's a pretty simple solution.
Correct.
But
and Dean must love paying income tax. I don't know.
Loves it.
What are taxes? What is taxes?
I didn't pay taxes in Miami. I was sure I paid in LA.
No. Dean gets all the write-offs in LA.
That's right.
But so, what was that transition like, going from Miami to LA initially, and when you first got there, what do you think was the hardest adjustment period for your comedy career?
It's very hard. It's not easy, but I've been visiting LA since 2017. I would go at least twice a year just to scope the scene, get the feel of it, and I loved it. So I went 2017, 18, 19, and then 20. Of course, pandemic happened. Everything just turned upside down over there. There was tent after tent after tent on the boardwalks, and I still visited. But I still wanted to move over there. It's always called me for some reason, and it's really the only place, like, if you want to be good at comedy, be great, you move to New York because you do like 5 sets a night over there. But if you want to make it in comedy, you move to LA because that's where all the studios are at, and you never know who's just having a drink at a bar that you're performing at, who likes your look, and who just finished talking about a script with your particular demographic. So that happens all the time over there. So I just moved over there one day when I knew that I didn't suck over here. I didn't suck. And that's all you really need, because comedy's currency over there. And as long as you're good or you got something going on that you can really water, then you just plant your seed over there. And luckily I have a beanstalk seed.
Nice.
And then I just did it and hit the ground running as soon as I moved over there. It's about to be 2 years now in March. But everything's been going great, man. Just outside every day, working every day, like whatever mic I could find. When I first moved out there was a list of open mics, and I went to every single one of them, the one in Orange County, and then I just chose my favorite ones. I got one at Flappers on a Tuesday or Wednesday. It was a tryout, 3 minutes. Got called back for actual show there at Flappers, which was my first callback within 2 months of living over there. And then it just went from there. Then I just started noticing which clubs are the right clubs to be at, which mics are the right mics to be at. And that's it. Now I have my particular, and I will do the triangle, which is, I call it Sunset Boulevard, is like the Biscayne Boulevard of here. Mm-hmm. So you have the Comedy Store here, 5 blocks away, you have the Laugh Factory here, and then a couple avenues down in the middle, you have the Hollywood Improv. I would spend an hour at the Comedy Store, an hour at the Laugh Factory, an hour at the Improv, and just do that every single night, basically, when I didn't have a mic. And just saying what's up to people who I've met coming down over here from when I used to co-produce with Have-Nots, and people that I've ran into at the Improv when I used to record the New Faces for about 2 years. And then I would record some big acts who needed a camera at the time. So I would see them over there. And they remember me, and that's it. Hey, do you need someone to open for you? No, I don't, but maybe whatever. Me just talking to this person who's big, someone else sees that I know this person, and now they want to know who I am, and then boom, now I got him to take me on the road for a show doing camera, and then I'll do a guest spot.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Well, fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah,
But
that's basically my grind.
Was there anyone in the very, very beginning that was either living in LA or was like really helping, like that you knew you had a contact?
Jack Jr., who's gonna be doing a guest spot for Maz Jobrani. Yeah, he's good friends with Maz. Yeah, he was one of the ones who I met here at the Miami Improv, and he at first though, when I first met him, I showed him a good time. I don't want to get too specific, but
Miami, you know.
I showed him a good time. He was like, "Hey, what's up, dude? You know, Miami, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Miami. You want to experience Miami?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure. Can you get me that Miami experience?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Ever since then, I'm his Miami experience guy, right? To this day, 5 years later, I showed him that experience one time. But anyways. When I first met him, he had a great time. He was like, "When you're ever in LA, hit me up. I got you." So I went to LA in 2019, and of course, he didn't got me, which is an LA thing. It's an LA thing to do. They just say things, and they don't really expect to ever see you again. But then here's the thing about Jack: that he's like the older brother that I never wanted, but we had that rapport that I told him, "Bro, you see, I helped you out, I did that, and you said whenever I'm in LA, shame on you." And he feels bad to the point that he's like, all right. Matter of fact, come on the road with me next month. Fine. And then, you know, that's it. He's like my bro now. And then after a while, he did have me, and that kind of started. I went on the road with him. He took me to Vegas. He took me to St. Louis, the Helium. He took me to Bakersfield, nice. And I recorded for him, and I did a guest spot, like I mentioned before. And yeah, he was very essential to the beginning parts of when I first moved to LA. Yeah, for sure.
Well, big shout out Jack Jr. I know,
and the Ha Ha Comedy Club.
Mm-hmm. And we're actually going to be mentioning it next week as well on the show. But I know Monday next week you'll be in Sunny Isles with him.
Yes.
You guys have a show at the Arat.
Ararat, I don't know. It's a restaurant there. Apparently, there's some Armenians who live in South Florida. I did not know that.
They run Sunny Isles.
Do they?
Yeah, the Armenians run Sunny Isles.
I thought it was Russian.
Well, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know what, tomato.
It depends on what experience you want to have.
You know? Right. I guess. Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be. So far, he sold out one show, and I think he added a second one already that's almost sold out.
Nice.
So I would definitely recommend that. Jack's a beast. He's 15 years strong. I learned a lot from him being on the road. So he's a killer.
So
that's awesome.
So you're out in LA. You know, you're running around building your base, and then at what point do you link up with Russell Peters?
Oh, Russell Peters. Okay, so in LA, he was at the Laugh Factory, and I noticed that he was going to be at Dania Improv the same week that I was going to be in Miami, because I still travel back and forth at least every 3 months or so, just to recharge the vibes or whatever. So anyways, and he's always been known to be good to comics. Always nothing but good stories when it comes to him and giving comics time, and he'll have like 3 local comedians on his show. Stuff like that. So I just knew that he was going to be at the Laugh Factory. I met him at the Ha Ha Club first. I was so nervous that, because he's like a comedy god, a comedy legend. I was so nervous at first that when he introduced himself, he said, "What's up, man? Russell Peters." And I said, "Hi, Gonzalez, Dean." He's like, "Your name's Gonzalez, Dean?" He's weird. I'm like, sorry, Dean Gonzalez. So then whatever. So I saw him at the Laugh Factory, and then I just asked him, "Hey, I'm going to be in Dana the same week you're going to be there. You mind if I pull up the guest spot?" Mind you, this was after he just murdered the Laugh Factory, and he's twisted. He's twisted. He loves his 1984 whatever the cognac that he drinks. He's going to kill me for not even knowing. But I know what it is, but if I see it. But anyways, I get to Dania the next week. He sees me, and by this time, before he even shows up, 10 comedians show up. Some from LA, some who moved down here to South Florida, and then me. And then he shows up, and he says hi to everyone, and he sees me, and he's like, "Oh, I must have flapped my gums too much. Because he already had like 8 comedians on.
It's an LA thing. It's an LA thing.
Yeah. There's an LA show here in Dania Beach.
Right, exactly. So, whatever. I read the room and I was like, hey, Russ, I could sit this one out. It's okay. I just wanted to show love and show up anyways. He's like, you sure? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, well, come back tomorrow. You'll get a spot tomorrow. Anyways, for now, just chill in this one. You smoke cigars? And I said, no. He's like, you do now. Here, cut me a cigar. He gave it to me. We're sitting in the green room at the Dania. It's full packed, and it's just me and Russell smoking cigars. Manager's coming in. I look like Russell's best friend, and I'm just there sipping the cognac, smoking a cigar, being here. And I'm just like, this is not too shabby, not too shabby.
You're used to this.
Yeah. And then the next day, did the guest spot, Murdered, and history since then. I've been, touring with him every now and then. So he has his improv guys, he has his theater guys, and he has his arena guys that he travel the world with him. I'm just scratching the surface of one of his improv guys because he likes to switch them up a lot. Mm-hmm. He gives people chances all the time. So, but the cities that make sense and that are not big cities, like New York or Boston, like I went to Spokane with him,
Mm-hmm. Well, so we actually shouted that out on the podcast a couple of months back when you did that.
Yeah.
I know, for us looking at you and all the work that you're doing out there, I mean, we cheered you on, man. That was amazing. And, I got to see not only the shows, the kind of the recaps that you did from it, but watching your Instagram, the whole experience, like even like getting up in the morning, kind of like you have I don't know if they're affirmations, but they're like these thankful thoughts that you put out there in your Instagram.
Yeah. Don't kill yourself.
That's how I know you're doing well,
Give it one more day.
and just like taking pictures with the like the selfies with the mountains in the background and enjoying that experience between shows and stuff. And I mean, as someone that's kind of following your trail a little bit. Yeah, man, I see you opening for Peter more and more, and I see you hopefully going international with him, man. There's nobody else that he's opening for that's going to be able to beat you. So,
well, thank you. He has a list of killers, though, and that's very nice of you. Thank you. My goal and just being around him is just to even be a quarter of what he's accomplished in comedy, because it's a masterclass every time that I see him perform, and every time I'm around him and seeing how he conducts himself with business and other comedians and managers and clubs, and just a way of being, his leisure stuff. He loves cigars. So yeah, all that stuff is a masterclass. And yeah, man, if one day I get lucky enough to do that and travel the world with him, that'd be cool. But he has a list of killers that deserve it way more than me right now. He's known for 20 plus years. We're just at a year and some odd months now. But yeah, thank you. But eventually, I hope to be like him when I get to whatever that's year age in comedy.
I will say this, for me, like I said, you are kind of like that. Like when you came down with Russell on that show, you actually got Dark Vision to come in and shoot that show for us, and that was one of the shows that got the Improv to see that Dark Vision could perform around those high level masters. From there, I mean, you got me the David Lucas spot also.
Oh yeah.
So every time you come down, man, you've spread the love. And
not just that. I was gonna say, you also operate in that way similar to Russell, because last time he came down, you got me and Ben both guest spots on his show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Wow,
So,
I'm a nice guy.
Yeah. So that's actually, so the funny story behind that is that I remember that day so vividly, because we had obviously sold out shows. Like, these were some of the most packed shows we had had in a long time. We were coming out of like kind of a slower stretch of shows, so hitting Russell, it was like everybody was getting back in gear, like from the servers to the front of house to the back, like everybody was, the kitchen, like on point that day. And we had we had some issue with some with like plates or something we didn't have, so they sent me down to the bottom storage. Like, I had to run to the other side of City Place Doral, unlocking stuff, and like I'm sweating, busting my ass. I have to, when I get back, I already know I'm getting behind on what I have to do, and I'm there and I take a breath and I just go, I was like, it's a lot of work, but it's all worth it. It's gonna pay off. Like, I remember having that moment. I get back upstairs, and the first time I exit the room to go back into the showroom, you stop me and you're like, hey, do you want to do a guest spot?
Damn.
And I was like,
damn.
And I was like, oh shit. I was like, yeah, but you gotta tell Melissa it wasn't my idea. Like, like I didn't tell her, I didn't ask you for it or anything like that. Like, it was your idea. I had nothing to do with this. Like, whatever the fuck. But you got it done, and not only me. Not only was I able to go up and do a guest spot, which was my first ever spot on a real sold out show, like a weekend sold out show. That was the first opportunity I'd gotten to do that. And then getting Ben on for the next one, it was like perfect. It was like serendipitous because it was also crazy. Ben was like working box office that night or something. Like there was, for some reason, he was available to actually be able to do a guest spot that night. So it was like, it just worked out perfectly. And it was because you having a little forethought and knowing that Russell is a very giving guy and that we needed some time, and it was awesome.
Yeah, my boys, great. Why not? Just ask you, and that's cool, man. Well, I'm glad. Yeah, you started working at the Improv after that David Lucas show. And then, that was cool. The instant gratification of results right there. Yeah. But you see, that is what makes the difference of why you are such a good improv employee, because you asked permission, I asked forgiveness. I would have just please. Russell, I'm available. Dean, you're going to get fired if you do 5 minutes. I don't care. What's up, everybody? Knock, knock.
Oh, man. No, but it really is those opportunities, like you say, if observing him and trying to emulate that style is something that you're trying to do, I would say you're already well ahead of your goal, I would say.
Thank you, bro. And I've always been like that, because when I used to record the New Faces for 2 years, I'll give these professional quality videos. I would come in, you could ask Melissa Justin, with a red camera. And then get the audio from the mixer, put it together for everybody. I would record the whole show, and then I would whoever would buy it, just in case someone didn't want to buy it. But I started getting the money beforehand, because people just wait to see if they bomb or not.
That's how we do it now too.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's my formula.
Yeah.
So $25 each, professional quality improv in the back, 5 minutes set, $25 off of a red camera, 4K. With the audio attached and the laughter, all that. 2 years I did that. Pretty much every open micer from 5-6 years ago, when I was doing that for 2 years, has one of my videos from the Improv New Faces. Guaranteed. So, that was just my way of just, helping out and hopefully capturing history, because somebody has to blow.
Right.
And so we have some good talents, and so far no one's blown except Marcelo, but he never did New Faces, and I've never done New Faces there actually. I hosted it one time, but and I really feel like I'm going to be next to blowing from Miami for sure. I
love it.
1,000%.
From your mouth to God's ears,
I was going to say, you're definitely putting yourself in that position, like with all the work you're putting in, with all the infrastructure you're building around you, not just in terms of you yourself on stage, but the team that you have around you, the support staff. I know that you're producing shows now out in LA, and you're now like it's Dean's show, and you get to book the lineups, and you get to bring the people, and how's that going, and what are your goals with that process, and where do you want to take it?
It's going great. So I produced a show at a venue that's an independent venue. In LA, you get a lot of no's. So I decided just to create my own yeses. And the only way really to do that is money, man. Money wins all wars. That is the saying that I live by. And that's it. Like, if you got the quality of work, there's no reason why you should get a no. And you're doing it yourself, there's no reason why you should get a no, unless it's something, personal someone has with you. But man. So I've had shows at Flappers where I headlined. They have my name on the marquee. I've done shows a bunch of other places, the Comedy Store, Improv. I did all the major clubs in 1 year when I was living out there. But I just wanted to produce my own shows because I was tired of waiting for them to call me for another show. So that's what I'm doing. And now all the people that I've met at these places and these other gigs that I've done, who I know are straight killers and next to blow, I have them on my show, and they respect my mic, I respect theirs, and I get them paid a little bit. It's nothing crazy, but in LA, you can, for instance, get Sebastian Maniscalco for $200 because he lives right around the corner. Right. And he wants to work out on a Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. Right. So he could do 10 minutes at the Improv if you're producing, he just wants to pop in, for instance. But this show that I'm doing, it's a Saturday show. It's with the Let Out crew. They are helping me out tremendously when it comes to this machine, and they have a whole team. When I produce shows and I host it, it's too many hats, and sometimes the show is affected. Like as far as me hosting, like I'll host, it's fine, and they'll like me, you know, I don't suck, but then I have to get off, introduce someone, get off, and then go tend to the bar, or tend to the tickets, or go to the green room, get the food for the comics, chat a little bit. People want to talk to me, whatever. Calls, hey, I'm at the door. The Let Out has eliminated 90% of that. They have a bartender, they have the door guy, they have a DJ, they have a photographer, they have this, they have that. So it's just like, oh, I can focus on just hosting. So the last one that we did last Saturday was just epic. So epic that we had CP, who's a great comedian. He hosts the Comedy Store Belly Room, Crack 'em Up Thursdays. Shout out to Nichelle Murdoch. She's very instrumental to my whole glow up over there in LA. And then I had Malik B, who's super famous on Instagram. G King, super funny comedian. Those guys, we all killed it so hard that the audience stayed afterwards to do a whole skit with Malik that is currently on World Star right now. They just picked it up 2 days ago, and he's at like 500,000 views with him, his page.
Nice.
I reposted his stuff on my page. It got 8,000 views at the moment, over 1,000 comments. So that's where we're at right now. And my goal for all this is, besides just putting on my boys and getting them paid and giving a good show to the people who come see it, because I always have killer lineups in all my shows. Every single one that I produce, killer lineup, and then I'll put some of my friends who are coming up in the beginning as guest spots. But my goal eventually, bro, honestly, believe it or not, is to open a club over here. That'd be a thing. And then, you know, I pass the people, and then I have my Dean's List day, right? My Dean's List day, and then whoever does good there gets to host the weekend of whatever big comics that I befriended and worked with over there in LA or in New York. And I already have everything, the name and all that. I can't even give all that out. I already have everything. Who's gonna run it? How we're gonna run it? Who's banned? You know who you are. And all that, bro.
Please name some names. We would love some viral drama on the show.
Mean Dean only lives in Miami. Serene Dean is from LA. That's who I am right now, and that's who I like to be. But here, I will say this, as far as drama. I thought I was like the spearhead for a lot of drama over here in Miami, and then I left, and it turns out there's still even more drama in the past 2 years that I left, with kind of the same people who called me dramatic. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, so it wasn't me. Yes, I knew it. Yes.
Yeah, no, the shit flushes itself out. You know what I mean? So just give it time, and eventually everything just flushes itself out.
Cream always rise to the top.
Real quick, I just wanted to say.
It sounded sexual. I don't even know what that meant.
You ever heard that phrase? The cream always rise to the top?
On Pornhub, maybe.
No, it's
in LA, cream is only about one thing.
Yeah,
so
that's right. Y'all are on the.
Down here in Miami, cash rules everything around me, but whatever, you know. No, what I was gonna say though is, as far as like producing, like anytime you do put on a show there in LA. You know, I call it like 305 worldwide. You're connected to Miami. Obviously, I don't think we'll be able to get you tickets sold over there in LA, but I would love to do a shout out. If you guys have any recap videos after a cool event, send it over. We'll make sure to play it on the content.
Yeah, people visit LA still. I mean, not a lot of people from Miami like LA, obviously, but people still visit. And a lot of LA people move over here. So they go back sometimes to visit their family or their sugar daddy. And, you know, they might see this and go to one of my shows.
Heck yeah.
But especially if on the recap, if there's any of the comedians like you just shouted out, for example, and they come down here for a quick trip or a family trip or anything like that, we love to shout them out, get them to kind of be familiarized with our scene. But obviously, when they come down, get them booked. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you get them on Smugglers, but at Taurus, at any of the other rooms that we run, and just put them in contact. We'll make sure to take care of them.
1,000%. The thing is that I don't like people knowing that we're friends. So it's just like, you know,
that's fair. That's fair.
On the low.
This interview is gonna kind of blow a lid on that,
but just tell them Miami experience. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah, that's right.
That's what we can provide. But guys, Dean, thank you so much for an incredible interview, bro. It's been so much fun. You have you're a wealth of knowledge for a lot of the comics down here in South Florida that often have aspirations or dreams or look forward to, if I can do this full time, moving to LA, moving to New York. Like for a lot of the guys down here, a lot of the open micers, like you're living their dream, and having started down here, cut your teeth and built from this base, it's really dope to hear your story and your path and journey. And I think a lot of the South Florida comics down here that are open micers, that are just starting to get booked on shows, are gonna hear that interview and take a lot from it in terms of what a realistic structure toward a comedy career is. Because although you have your unique path and you did it your way, I think there's a lot of knowledge that people can take from it that is going to be super beneficial. So thank you for coming on the calendar and giving us a little bit of that.
Yeah, the one thing I will say to open micers, everyone has their particular path, but there's a basic common foundation as far as comedy. First off, don't suck, right? Don't suck. Every time, there's some comics who like sucking, just to make their friends laugh, like a comedian friend. It's not about the comedians. The comedians don't buy the tickets. It's the people watching you. So just don't suck, right? And then also travel, because a Miami, a Opelika, or a Biscayne Boulevard joke is not going to hit in Spokane, Washington. So you got to travel and get worldly cultured comedically when it comes to your writing. So you travel up to New York, do it, do a couple shows over there. And the last thing I will say is be fearless. Don't doubt yourself at all. If you look at someone on stage and they're bombing, you better be like, oh, this is going to be cake now, because I know that this works, and he messed up there because I would have said this to that person that he tried to do crowd work with. Don't doubt yourself. Be fearless wherever you go. Obviously you're going to run into some killers who you can't follow, but you should not bomb at least. It's so hard, You should just do okay and be forgettable. If you go up after someone like me, obviously, right? But just don't bomb to the point that people are cringing watching you. Get that bomb where they'll be like, oh well, he tried. Yeah, all right, next, boom. That means you're gonna. That just made you better. Yeah. And that's it, man. Just travel, be fearless, and don't suck. And also shout me out, Just,
Amen.
That helps.
Yeah, if you're in LA, like, hey, Dean, remember you told me? Like, I did. It's an LA thing. It's an LA thing.
Right.
Yeah. No, two things that just I super takeaways from having the conversation is one, you kind of. I had never heard it said this way, but basically, like, if you want to get good at comedy, go to New York. If you want to make it in comedy, go to LA. Yeah. I love that mindset. I mean, I'm somebody who is Miami all the way. I don't plan on leaving anywhere, but I do see, like the strides that you've been making. I do see the strategic thinking. You're thinking ahead. You're thinking about a comedy club one day, and it shows with that kind of mentality. And then the other thing you said, which is, kind of important to that, is once I knew I was something in Miami. So once you had done the prereqs here in Miami, once you put the work in, once you had the recognition, then you went somewhere else to do a thing. I think a lot of comedians, they think now of Austin, I'm going to go to Austin and make it. It's like, you suck in Miami, bro. How are you going to go to Austin where it's a 1,000x number of comedians and be good there?
Well, now you say some names. You say names now.
Shout out to all the boys in Austin.
No, you're right. It's exactly right. But if I'm not someone to step on anyone's dreams, even if they like bombing, because it makes them feel better inside. People need, and I got this from Russell. People need this for therapy too. But me, I'm in it for the legacy and the money. Obviously, that's it. This is all I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a hobby, man. That's one of the things we talk about with a lot of open micers, because a lot of people will see, they want to compare things, and it's like, wait, hold on, guys. You're just coming out on the weekends getting drunk and doing a couple of jokes. I spent Monday through Sunday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every night just getting ready to go up on stage, So it's like, can't really compare those things. It's a full-time gig for us, and you guys are just hobbyists. So It shows after 2 years of that kind of work, you start to kind of leave people behind a little bit. So, and you're working LA, man. It's showing, man. Keep killing it, bro.
Thank you, bro. You guys too. Keep killing it. I just started my website, DeanGonzalez.net. You can find me there, Dean_Gonzalez with a 3 for 305, obviously. And yeah, I still have my show over here because I like hearing what you guys are doing, and I like having a extra room for you guys to work out in, and I like getting the money for doing nothing. Honestly.
Well, and you're paying comedians, man. Like you're in LA doing a room here in Miami, and it's one of the few. I think it's the only room this week that's actually going to be paying anybody. So, shout out to you, man. Keep that energy going.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, bro.
No, thank you, Dean. And guys, that has been this week's edition of the South Florida Comedy Calendar. What an amazing episode it was. Don't forget, guys, if you want to get up to date with anything that we didn't mention here that's happening in South Florida Comedy, you can always go to the spreadsheet link that is in the description of this video. You can check it out and see any of the other shows that are happening, because guess what? We only have a certain amount of time on this show. We can't name everything that happens in South Florida Comedy, but stay up to date there. Stay tuned here as well. We catch you every single week, Monday, 2 p.m. You can catch us here at the South Florida Community News Comedy Calendar. Guys, thank you so much. Keep laughing. Until next week.
Yeah, and shout out to Ray.